year, things were great. And after a certain amount of time after that, I don't know how long it was after I went ambassador, maybe 6 to 10 months, the company closed completely unexpectedly, like literally woke up one day and it was gone. No website, no nothing, no furniture in the main office. It was devastating. And so I've lived through like a lot of different things in the industry. I've lived through the highs and lows. It doesn't get much lower than your company closing. It's why you hear me say a lot, plant your roots in a strong, stable company that's debt-free with the right kind of leadership. It's why I'm so passionate about being here. It's why it took me several years after that company went out of business to say yes to another company, whether it was a corporate position or being a distributor or anything in between. I wasn't going to say yes, unless it was the absolute right fit with the right people. The people was an important piece for me too. So one of the things I just, love to tell people, and sometimes I know this seems basic, but if you haven't built anywhere else, or maybe you haven't built anywhere else for very long, maybe you tried selling this or sharing that for 6 to 10 months somewhere else, but you didn't spend years somewhere else. What I want to make sure people know is that wherever you go, there's always going to be ups and downs, okay? Yes, some companies are better than others, and yes, 2 to 3% of them are incredible, and that's where we fall. We fall in that 2 to 3% that have that corporate leadership, the field leadership. They're over 10 years old. They've got a flagship product, and they're consumable wellness products that are cutting edge. We've got more coming out. There's a handful of things that you look at, and we do fall in that 2 to 3% of those top companies. But there are other ones that are decent, right? There's other ones where people are making money. And what I just want to make sure people know is it's never easy. It could be easy for a season, and maybe that's happened to you even and it works. Maybe you're like, well, yeah, when I got in, like people like were banging on my door for wraps. And maybe for 6 months or a year or two in certain companies, there is that time where it feels easier, but that's not normal. That doesn't stay forever. And I saw somebody post in the ambassador page today, and I don't have my phone right with me, but it said something about if you look at the people that are averaging over $500,000 a year in network marketing, okay, so $500,000 a year, they're not company jumpers. They've been usually with their company for 10 years. Okay, so think of like the Denise Walshes and the Camis and, the Melodies and a lot of those people that have been in 8, 10, 12 years, right? And lots of them are still with the company, and they can say they've been with the company 20 to 30 years. And so I think sometimes, even though it's exciting to kind of ride an exciting wave, and I'm not saying we're not still on the wave and that more of the wave isn't coming, okay? Because just wait till you see what's coming out in October and January and February. Like, we're still in it, but I want you to know that even when there's months, it doesn't feel like, it feels like the water is standing still or we're sinking a little bit. That's okay. That's just part of the industry. Companies do go through those cycles, and teams go through those cycles, because we've got people promoting ambassador this month. We've got people promoting presidential. Like it's just one of those things where there's going to be ebbs and flows. And I think just recognizing that you're in the right place, whether it feels like it every second or not, that's okay. Seriously, I was a high school teacher and I loved my job, but that doesn't mean that there weren't days where I was like, oh gosh, I wish we could have a snow day. I wish I could take a break, or why don't we get a full week of spring break? That's not fair. Why does it snow on Saturdays? That's not fair. Like, you can love what you do and still not love it for a couple days or kind of go through a rough time. And it doesn't mean like you don't see very many teachers quitting in January because they just get tired of working. It's like, I just don't think I like this anymore. Like, no, you just work and you just do it and you re-find your joy and you get inspired and you re-dream and you remember why you went into teaching to begin with. And I use that as an example because I was a school teacher. Same thing here. You don't just say, well, I've had, a rough summer, I just should be done and just go sell, jelly beans instead. Like, no, it doesn't change. And I think sometimes too, we're in this social media age where we can be looking at over here and it's like, oh, wow, it seems like they're all making so much money so fast. Well, either they are and it won't be forever. Like, there's just so many variables. And so I just want people to kind of stay grounded in what we've got, grounded in what we have. And so one thing I remember as a child, I was raised in a Christian family, and I'm still a Christian. And I remember saying to my dad that I felt like I needed to like study all these other religions, like just like study this and study that, just to be sure like that ours was right. And to know if, what if somebody came to me and I want to know how to argue against that, right? I want to know how to defend my faith. And he said something wise, and I think he read it in a book, but he said, here's the deal. When people who are in charge, whoever these people are, of like deciphering through our money and our dollar system, like finding counterfeit money, they don't train those people by putting a bunch of counterfeit $20 bills in front of them and having them study all the counterfeits. They give them real $20 bills and say, study this. And they spend hours and hours and hours studying real $20 bills so that when they do see counterfeit come through the treasury, they recognize it immediately. And so that's what my dad taught me about scripture. He's like, just know your own Bible, just know your own faith, your own heart, put, God's word in your heart, memorize those scriptures, because then when you hear something that doesn't align with that. And what I mean by that with you guys is really focus on what we've got here. Little things are being changed and improved all the time. We're growing as a company. But I want you to focus on, why did you say yes? All right. Are you willing to stick this out through some of those? I mean, August can be tough. And I don't say that because I want you to like let go of your goals, because I've promoted in August before. And I'm sure a few of you on here have gone Ruby or Emerald in August before. But in this industry, it can sometimes be a tricky month, because even people without kids get a little distracted in August. There's last minute things that come up in the summer. So don't analyze your business just based on, 1 month, where you might be at for 1 month. Look at it as the big picture. Just like in any other career, you wouldn't say we've had a rough month. I mean, accountants, I think they go crazy for 3 or 4 months out of the year, and they may not love every minute of it. So kind of putting it in perspective that you can have joy and love what you're doing here, even if there's going to be a rough day here or there and a rough season. It's not going to change where you're going. And it is, even though we say a lot, we're not selling, we're sharing, we're teaching and all of that. Product still needs to move, right? So people are buying products, even if we're not really selling them. And you just need to remember that in any company, whether it's a car company selling cars or whatever it might be, there's ebbs and flows. And if you're making $3,000 one month and $2,000 the next month, that doesn't mean your business is going away, because you might make $4,000 the following month. It's doing it even when you don't feel like it, or even when you're, a little bit distracted with things, is being consistent. So those are just some of the things that have been on my mind lately, because I know even though we've got people promoting like crazy, there's also people like, oh, my checks are a little bit down. I have way too many teachers on my team, or too many moms. And they're all back to school and back to work, and they're just not pushing. But I know what's coming this fall. And I can tell you this, even if nothing was coming out this fall, it's an amazing company. It's a place to plant your roots. Our wrap works. Our greens work. People get results from the products. So even if we didn't have all these exciting things that we're going to be doing for you guys this fall, it would still be, hey, let's get through month end, give it 150% the next however many hours, 36 hours, whatever it is, and let's just do this. And then September is a fresh new start. Are you guys asking anything in this chat? Yeah, Jesse. Corporate events, veteran leaders, rocking it after 10 years. I love that.
So tell me,
I love that.
Like when you were in your business, because you were so successful, Aspen, did you feel like sometimes you were like totally pumped up, but your team wasn't? Or even you weren't and your team was? What do you do with those things? I feel like, to me, after Kansas City, like I was telling these guys, my heart is like overflowing. I have to come on these Zooms because I got to dump some of it out, because I am just like so filled up with the spirit of It Works, that until you get that, until you have that sense, you do kind of lose track. You do kind of feel like, oh, well, maybe not. But then you go to an event like that. I mean, I know you felt that way. It just was it filled my spirit completely.
Yep. I love events, and you guys hear us say that a lot. And if you haven't been to one, or if you haven't been to enough that you've left inspired like that, I mean, she's oozing excitement. they really do change things. And when I'm out in the field, I like to survey people. I like to say, you know, instead of always what's an aha moment or what's a because of it works moment, I love those questions. But I like to sometimes say, what was a turning point for you in your business where you went from maybe this is going to work, or I'm kind of trying a little bit, to all of a sudden game on, you know? And I'm usually asking diamonds and above that question. And I'd say, I mean, I need to start tracking it in my head or on a note on my phone, but a huge majority of people, it was an event. It was someone at an event saying, I get to walk my kids into school every day because of this, you know, and I was inspired, and they're inspired by that person on stage saying that, and it turns their life around. So, you know, if people aren't believing and excited, we've got to do something about it. And there's only so much one person can say. Sometimes it's looking around the room and going, 20,000 other people said yes, or 500 other people said yes, we're in this together. And I think that's huge. And there were definitely times in my business where I felt like nobody wanted it as bad as I did. You know, I looked around going, okay, I'm never going to get, you know, where I'm going if I can't get people to want it as bad as I did. So I worked on building relationships with my existing team, being available and pouring into them, but also realizing I couldn't drag them. I just couldn't. And as much as I put so much hope and faith in those people, I knew I needed to get in front of their people. If I could get them to do parties and introduce me to their warm market, that was a big deal. So I didn't write them off, but I learned early on that I would never get where I wanted to go if I didn't just go build new and focus on some of that new. And that can be a juggling act, because you're like, dang it, you said yes. Like, seriously, let's get you going. And you see the potential of if you would just do this, I'd be diamond, or I'd have you be diamond, and then I'd get where I'm going. And I had to just kind of let some of that go and realize nobody wants to be home with my kids. I do. Nobody else wanted to have the life that I have right now because of this industry, but I do. And I had to be willing to be the runner until I found one. And I had to be willing to do it all by myself if I needed to. And I had a goal in mind. I was like, I've got to get to 10 or 20 or 30,000 a month, whatever the number was. And I had to say, even if I have to do it all alone, that was been a lot of product and a lot of parties, but I'm doing it, even if I have to do it completely by myself. I talked to a presidential when I first started this job back in March, and I was just asking her some questions, and she was super open with me. Probably one of the most open that anybody's been to me about like money and checks and volume in this. You know, not everyone always throws it out there right away, but she said to me, and this is in March, okay? So this is just this past March. She goes, last March, so March of 2016, she said, my volume was like 160 some thousand. She's presidential. She said, by December of 2016, my volume was at 40 something thousand. And I said, oh, wow, that's quite a drop, you know. And you have to remember, I'm brand new to this job going, okay, where's this conversation going? And she goes, but it was a turning point for me. And I said, well, what did you do with that? And she goes, I realized that the team I had wasn't ready to move forward and that I was wanting it too much for them. So I made sure they knew I was here. I didn't abandon them. I didn't have to have tough love conversations that they were letting me down. She goes, but I realized that I want this so bad, I'm going to go build some new. She said, so that was last December. So by March, her volume was already back to 96,000 in volume from the 40s. And I haven't asked her that specific question since then, but here we are 6 months later, and I've seen her at events. I saw her in Kansas City. I've seen her at other events. So she's obviously still plugging in. She said it was amazing to see what happened when she went and built new, how all the people she thought didn't want it anymore, all of a sudden are like, wait a second. Wow, you were kind of in a slump, but you're kind of not anymore.
That is so good. That is so good. And I can't remember who it was that was talking about at one of the events recently that they built back from Ruby, or they were like double maybe, we're down to Ruby, and then we're back up to, went to, you know, like triple or presidential in just a few months. It's just all about one or two people a lot of times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard testimonies. I apologize. I just came on. I apologize. I just came back from a walk.
That's okay.
I'm winded.
Deb, you're talking about Nicole Scuderi. And she had been double, and then she fell back to Ruby. Her upline had written her off the chart, like didn't need her on the chart anymore. And that was like February. And within 3 months, she went presidential.
It can happen. You
That's
just
amazing.
need to find some runners. And so many times when people tell their story on stage, and again, that's why it speaks to me when I'm at one of those events, you hear someone's story and you're like, ding, 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 that's all you need, whatever that is. And for me, it was, I just need to find some new runners. I don't need a whole bunch of them. I just need like 2 or 3. And if Jesse finds 2 or 3, and Kelsey finds 2 or 3, and Kaylee finds 2 or 3, and Delana finds, everybody just needs a couple. Look what can happen. It doesn't take that much to make it happen big.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Oh,
That's
we
amazing.
just so adore you. I know you got to go. You're getting antsy pie. You got to get downstairs. And thank you so much, Aspen.
You're welcome.
Just absolutely. I mean, you guys.
Aspen, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you.
Yes, you're
so
amazing.
good of you to jump on for us. We appreciate you.
Yes,
Love
you are so welcome. I got to do that live party, but we'll do this again sometime when I can stay longer. Okay?
And we'll get on your party when we're done here. Okay.
Talk
Love
to
you.
you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm sorry, and I came on late. Was that our special guest?
Yes. Yep.
Well, crap. Well,
Did you record?
I apologize.
You
I
did.
just came back from a walk.
Hannah, it's okay. I recorded it, so.
Okay. Because I've seen her I've seen Aspen's rap videos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have, and she's amazing.
Yeah.
But in the question mark with the special, I was actually thinking of the CEO.
Oh, yeah.
For some odd reason, I was thinking of the CEO.
I had you all guessing, didn't I?
You did. Good job there, Kelsey.
I did. I missed the first half, but I caught the recording like right at the beginning of her story, so I have most of it. So.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Hopefully sometimes she will tell her whole story, because it really is a crazy, you all have heard it if you were at the meeting when Cedar Rapids. So she will actually be in town here in Cedar Rapids for our October meeting. So if you can get it on the books, it's like October 1st, I think. She's so good. So she'll be at Gumption, and it'll be life-changing for you guys. So I hope that you can get there. Okay, so I had a couple things I just want to tell you real quick.
Okay.
Ashley Sinclair, if you don't follow her, do. I know that a lot of you probably already do, but she did a video for one of the leadership pages today, and it was so good. And I won't even do it half of the justice that it deserves. But what she was telling us essentially was that we all think that we have to like recreate the wheel, even though we think we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. But she said to me, to all of us, think about the pastor's job. The pastor of your church needs to do 2 things every single Sunday, every single day. He needs to remind us that God loves us, and remind us to love God and love the people around us, right? And she's like, now how interesting can that be? I mean, that we have to recreate that every single day in a new and fun way, right? I mean, what a challenge that is for him. But she said what he has is God's there to open up his heart and to speak to him or her, pastor, whoever it is, to tell that story. And she said, all we have to do is blitz, wrap, repeat, and keep that exciting. But keep in mind that if you're a pastor, you've always got new non-believers in front of you. So you just give them the regular blitz, wrap, repeat. He just gives them the regular, God is here, God is love. You should love him, and you should love others. That's all he has to do. Hannah, do you have a question?
I do. And I love how you say blitz, wrap, repeat. But I mean, I still wanted you to continue your testimony. I just don't understand this blitz.
Okay.
I blitzed.
Okay,
And I understand that I've heard the testimonies with the ladies in the training, when I went through the training and everything like that, the ninja and whatnot, I'm not getting any. I'm not getting any blitzing, ladies. And I would like to get some tips on how you're actually getting your customers through Blitz, because I'm not getting it.
Hannah, okay. We can go over that, Hannah, and we can even do that offline.
Okay. That's awesome, Kelsey. Yes, absolutely. Okay. We'll do.
Boot camp, there was a whole segment on that was so good, and somebody downloaded it. Actually, Kenzie videoed it and then downloaded it. I will get that to you, Kelsey, so that you can share that with you, Jesse, your teams.
Thank you.
I lost my train of thought, but anyway, he was just saying, so you have all new non-believers with It Works products every day. You've got to make that connection, that blitz. Actually, Hannah, you need to open up other people's eyes to the possibilities, just like the pastor's doing. But it's just the basic blitz, wrap, and then do that again and again so that you have new context. But then she said, you also have all of those people who've maybe been in a week or two. They're already distributors, and they're feeling just like Hannah is feeling, like, I can't quite make touch with people. I don't know how to get them or whatever. And so we feel discouraged by that. And she's like, you shouldn't feel discouraged. If you just let people see that you are actually living the life and using the products and touching their soul in one way or another by being genuine and authentic, that's all you need to do. So to just real quickly touch a little bit on what you're saying about the blitz. And I've said this before, and if you've ever heard me speak, I always talk about that people think blitz is like a football move. Like, I am going to chase you down, I'm going to tackle you, and you're going to get this wrap on, and that's what it is. So for me, I don't like that word. I love the fact that I can share this business and these products with people. And all that is just making a new friend in a very short period of time, which is called a blitz. That's all you're going to do. So Hannah, if you and I are at the local department store and we're at the Rounder and we're all looking at shirts or whatever, I'm going to just say to you, I don't know who you are. I'm going to say, I don't know, what do you think of this shirt? Do you like it? I can't decide. I'm mixed about it. That's a blitz right there. That's all you need to do, is you need to just make a connection. And then you'll say to me, oh, I'm not sure about that shirt. Oh, I really love it. And then I'll be like, I don't know, I'm thinking about trying it on. Okay, yeah, just kind of form a really small little connection, and then say, I've really enjoyed our chat. Are you on Facebook? Because I would love to be friends with you on Facebook. Find yourself on here. That's a blitz. That's all it is getting the connection. Because if you're truly living the blitz or living It Works, you're going to see it on your Facebook page. Another thing I'll do is just say, you know what, I have a business card. I'd love to be friends with you. I'll give you that, but let me just get you on my Facebook, because I'd love to be friends. Okay. That's all you have to do. Don't think you need, I feel like people think when you say blitz, wrap, repeat, that you're going to tackle them,
right?
Hold on up their shirt and say, I'm going to put this wrap on you. That's not what it is. And that's kind of what the sensation is when you talk about the blitz. So hopefully that will help you, Hannah, that all you really need to do is just make a new friend.
Thank you, Deb.
So that you can follow up with them.
Yes. Thank you, Deb.
Yeah. Does that kind of help?
Yes. That means a lot, because it just, I know what it means, but then it kind of confuses me at sometimes. It's like, when do I blitz? When do I not blitz? That kind of thing is just like, in your conversation is like just trying on a shirt and stuff like that. It's like, seriously, I would never think of that. I would never think of trying to provide somebody with a business card during the conversation of trying on a shirt.
Yeah.
Kelsey has provided me opportunities of grocery stores. I see you every time, the clerks that you see all the time. I love seeing your smile. I just, just something positive about that person, and to provide them with I don't have business cards, but I just have my Blitz cards. I just provide them with a Blitz card, and my husband actually came up to me and says, that's illegal. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's soliciting. You're soliciting that person. And I'm like, well, not really. No, I'm not. I'm just providing them information on a business. But it's just like, you're kidding me. You're killing my you're killing my vibe here, honey.
Well, it's totally fine to hand someone your business card. People hand their business cards out all the time.
Right, you're right. Yes, and it just killed my vibe when you said that to me. You're soliciting. That's illegal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted, but I just thought that was.
I feel like from Kansas City too, the culture of It Works is a big part of what you all will love, and you really need to commit. I know that Jesse and Kelsey have talked about going to Nashville, there's one in October in Chicago, a One Team One Mission or a boot camp. Try to get to one of those. Try to get to a team meeting if you can. I know some of you live a distance away. If you're not in this local area, there are lots of opportunities in other places that we can definitely get you those links. But just sitting there, and there's 1,200 other people, other It Works distributors and their guests. The culture is so real that Mark and Cindy are out there talking to us. They're the CEO and his wife. They come up and talk to you. It doesn't matter what your rank is. They will love on you no matter what. And what business, I worked in an OBGYN office that nobody loved on me, for goodness sakes. I worked there for 14 years. Nobody could have, I was in the hospital for 3 days. No one visited me, not one person. The doctor that I work for stopped by on her rounds one day. I wasn't in there for an OBGYN problem, so she wasn't seeing me for that reason. She stopped in for 1 minute, and that's it. And I thought then, wow, this is crazy. But what we have our hands on, you guys, is so incredible. And so when Mark's up there and he's talking, he's just so excited about the new products that are coming out. He is like a little kid. And Mike Patillo kept looking at him like, don't spill it. Don't tell it. But you guys, it's going to be, I just know it's going to be amazing. It's going to help us grow our business. So we've got to be making those new contacts now in the grocery store or in the department store or whatever. Get people on your Facebook, in Instagram, start planting those seeds so that once that happens, boom, you've got people to reach out to. So let's see. Are there questions? Anybody have questions? Yeah, Sarah, I agree. I could listen to Mark talk for hours. He is amazing.
He is. Yes, I can agree with you on that one.
Jesse, are you going to Chicago?
Yes, I'm going to Chicago for sure.
Yay.
I'm hoping to round up some people to carpool from here.
Yeah, I'm going too, for sure.
Yay, good.
Yeah. So did you have a question? Hannah, will you raise your hand?
Jesse,
What's that?
where are you located?
I'm right outside of Iowa City.
Okay. Because I didn't get to make the Iowa City one, and and this is not like in the plan here. I'm actually going to a women's conference in Iowa City on September 21st through 23rd for Joyce Myers.
Oh, awesome. Joyce Myers is going to be here?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I'm so excited. Yes,
I love
she is my favorite.
Maybe I'll go. That would be great.
Yes. But my thing is just like, I want to go to this conference, but I'm spending the majority of my money on this conference for 2 days, and it's like, or 3 days, I apologize. And then I have to come back, and it's just like,
Sure.
I haven't been.
The one on October 8th is really short. It's a 1-day thing. So I'm just going up and back in 1 day. I'm going to go up that morning and back that night.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay.
So if you're able to swing 1 day,
yes.
Staying anywhere or doing anything, it's a mini boot camp. So it's really a 1-day thing. So check out all the information is on online. So check it out and let me know if you want to.
Yes, Jesse, I will keep in touch with you. If anybody else is able to keep in touch with me on that, Jesse, I want to do that. I have not been able to make any events lately.
You'll love it.
That's one thing I want to do. I want to make an event. Yes. Thank you.
I know that we all went crazy when we had the $9.99 deal, and I feel like last month was just really a ton of momentum from that. So this month I want you to honestly reflect on, do you feel like you gave 100% this month to building your business? Did you even give 50%? Did you do your steps to success? Because really that's all you have to do every month is 3 distributors and 4 loyal customers. Did you do that? And I'm not saying you're not accountable to me. You're accountable to yourself. And for people that feel like they're in a funk, because I've been there. I've been in a funk before. And so you've got to do something to get yourself out of it. And so for me, I wanted to go to Kansas City boot camp. Did it work out great for me? Probably wasn't the best timing, but I went to Phoenix boot camp. You start to kind of drain down, you fill it back up again. You've got to get to those things, but you also have to work your business every single day. And when I say that, sometimes people are like, oh, it's so overwhelming. I can't do that. Can you not dedicate 15 minutes to your business every single day with intentional working, intentionally reaching out to people, following up and that kind of stuff? Do you feel like you did that? If you didn't, more than likely that's maybe why your business isn't thriving right now. But it all can change in a day. Like you still have tomorrow. You all could get 4 loyal customers tomorrow. I know you could. If you put it in your mind, I'm going to do it. I need to get 4 loyal customers. I've got 24 hours to get that done. Do it. Work every day like it's the last day of the month, then starting September 1st. Do that and see the difference it makes in your business. When we added 240,000 distributors to the It Works team in 6 days, did we all work like I always say my tail feathers were on fire? Yeah, we did. Why are we not doing that every day? Because we've got so much to offer people. Why are we not sharing this business opportunity with people? Do you think you have a friend right now or 5 friends that could use an additional $500 a month? Anybody? I know I do. Pretty sure.
I just need DTs. That's my issues. I have 12 LCs.
That's awesome.
I'm still, yes. I say that to myself, Hannah. I am so proud of yourself for even putting yourself out there. It's my darn DTs that is getting me to Ruby, and that's my issues. LCs are for some odd reason LCs are easy for me. DTs, I have an issue.
Okay, so I think that you need to look in the mirror and you need to say to yourself, I can get a distributor easily. Today's my day. I'm going to get a distributor and it's easy. Just like you just said, I can get loyal customers. You need to say, I can get distributors because you have people that need this business. It's all it is mindset.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you very much, Deb.
Questions? Anybody? Jaleesa, anybody? Lynette? Crystal, anybody have questions? Sarah?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment kind of about earlier. So I'm in real estate. I have a fantastic leader. And he taught us once, we were talking about motivation. And he likes to say motivation is crap. Because he's like, you can't really motivate people. And then he started to say, they have to want it themselves. And he's like, you know what? They do. However, a lot of people say, I can't want it more than them. Like we run a real estate business and we have agents who might not want it as bad as we want it for them. And so he's like, you have to want it more than them. Like, does an NFL coach want to win that game more than his players? Probably. But, he might have to figure out different tactics to teach them to get themselves to want it as well. But I just thought that was kind of interesting because there are times that you do want it more than the people that you want it so bad.
Yes. And that's so true. That's such a great point, Kaylee. People, we can't motivate them. We can inspire them. We can show them what we're doing and we can want it for them. But like you said, you got to want it more. Oh, that's such a good point. Thank you for sharing that. That was amazing.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yes, it's so true. And there are some days you want it more than other days too.
Right.
And we can change that all in a short period of time. Not everybody has that. You know, your regular 9-to-5 job, what can you really do in a day that will change anything for you? Not much, really. I mean, like as a real estate agent, clearly you can, but there are just some days you're like, there's nothing I can do. I've got to just do what I always do. This business is not that.
Yeah.
You can change a lot in a 24-hour period of time. So I challenge you all to do that. That tomorrow, change a life. Either get a distributor or get 4 loyal customers and come back to me and you tell me what you've done. We've got to all make a goal. Delana, you're unmuted. What are you going to say?
How about sealing the deal? That's what I'm having.
Sealing the deal.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank
you.
Well, you have to assume the deal. Okay. That's a big part of it. You have to let them know that they need and want the products. So for example, with a loyal customer, if I'm following up, it depends on what the scenario is. But if I'm following up, I'll just say to them, you know, you've gone through the whole thing, you've talked to them a billion times, and I'll just say, hey, you know what, I think today's your day. Let's get you enrolled. Which works better? Do you want me to text you my website so that you can just click on the link? Or would you like me just to get you enrolled? I can just do it right now. Or tell them a really good, give them a before and after and say, oh my goodness, can you see the difference? That's it. I feel like too many people give too many words. And if you won't read that message, they're not going to read that message either. So voice messaging is so key, being excited. And honestly, that seals the deal for me a lot of times. Like when I give them a voice message and I'll just say, oh my gosh, I really am so excited about the hair, skin, nails. I know you were interested in it and it's just blowing my socks off. So I would love it if we could get you started on that. Can I put that order in for you today? Just assume the sale, assume the deal, okay? And with distributors, you do have to keep in mind that it's everybody's time. Even like Kaylee just said, it may be your time. You're like, I'm ready for this to happen, but it may not be their time. So you move on. You should have so many potentials. When someone says to me, yes, I have 3 potentials. Oh my goodness. No, you have way more potentials than that. You should have a long, long list of potentials. There should be so many that you can't get to them all in a week's time. You should be making new ones all the time. But just go in with confidence. Yes, Sarah, word vomiting. So many people are guilty of that. I was early on. I felt like everybody needed to know every single thing I knew. And that will scare people away more than anything. You guys, Kelsey, Jesse, can you speak to that? Tips?
Yes. Sorry, I was on mute.
That's okay.
But yeah, no, I was just thinking about what Kaylee was saying too about others not wanting it as much as you do. And I really struggle with that as well, Kaylee, with, I usually call it giving others the vision. And others just sometimes just don't see that vision as you do. And it's kind of what Deb's saying. It's just maybe not their time. And it's your time and you struggle and you really want these people to see this vision because you see the potential. But it's really hard to make someone see that potential. You can't force it on them. It's hard for them to see it until they see it for themselves.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah, that's so true. I loved what Aspen said too about, I think that you walk a fine line as a leader of making sure that it's hard. It's been hard for me to come to terms with wanting it so bad for people that I know need this or could be really incredible at this if they got out of their own way. Like if they got out of their head or if they actually dedicated themselves to doing some training to learn the best way to be successful or to stay up with the best way to be successful. And that's hard to let go of when you know their why and you watch them put it on the back burner is really hard. But I think Aspen hit it on the head that you have to walk that line of making sure that people know that you're there for them when they're ready. But it's not up to you if they're successful in this or not. And like kind of making that clear. So it's you don't need to feel bad about not building somebody else's team, but you can feel really, really good about helping other people build when they're ready to build. So it's so hard to see people come and go, because you will.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, definitely will. And ones that you think, and ones that have done really well, and then they kind of fall off the grid, and you're just like, oh my goodness, you were doing so well. So, Elena, does that help you a little bit? It's hard to hear.
Sorry, I was on mute.
That's okay.
Yes, it does help.
Good. You know, I talked to Kelsey about this the other day, that we all need a dream board. We all need a goal. We all have to have that. And you have to do personal development every single day so that it's making a difference in your life. Personal development is huge. And I know that Kelsey does that. I know Jesse does it. I know that Katie does it. I know that Sarah does it. I know that people do that every day, and it will change your business. So at Kansas City, they had the presidentials and ambassadors that were just there at Kansas City. And I don't know if you saw the picture, but we packed that stage, which, I mean, of course, you know me, I cry about everything, but I was crying when I got up there, because I was like, look at all these people that are presidential and ambassador, and they live probably within a 5-hour radius around Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And that stage, I don't know, there had to be 50 or 60 people up there.
Wow.
All of them.
Amazing.
I was starstruck completely, but I just thought, and it was all walks of life. There were big, there were little, there were old, there were young, there were men, there were women. You guys, the opportunity is so incredible. We have to open our mouths and share it with people. It's so crucial to not keep your mouth shut. But every one of them that would stand up there would just say, I had 1 or 2 people in my business that made a difference. That's all you really need. You need 1 or 2. You need to find 1 or 2 people. And every one of them said they used personal development. Every one of them said that they had goals written down, whether it was on their mirror, whether it was on something they had posted on Facebook, something that said, I'm going to do this by this time. And I was telling Kelsey that actually way back when, Kenzie would have me do that. And every time I did it, I achieved it. Like, I'm going triple diamond, and then I'm going to retire from my nursing job. And I remember writing that thinking, oh, for goodness sakes, that is not going to happen. And it did. It did. So you've got to have like a roadmap. You've got to have it in your heart that you know that you can do it. And that confidence will take you far. If you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe it either.
Deb, I need your confidence. I mean, and Jesse, you have, and I believe Kelsey as well, that self-development. Email it to me.
Girl, we give you everything we got. It is all out there.
I've never done, I mean, yes, I apologize, Deb, for interrupting you, because you're amazing, and I adore all your speaking, and it's just inspiring me. But that self-development, I actually provided myself into a 21-day fitness group that also states, I want to see a journal. I want to see a self-development. I want to, I'll provide you with books and readings and stuff like that. And it's like, I know my women, Jesse and Kelsey, do that every day. Help me out. And it's just, I don't do that.
It's a habit. It's hard to make new habits. And that's such an easy habit to get out of, Hannah. I can totally relate to that. Anytime that I feel like, oh man, life's getting overwhelming, or oh shoot, my volumes are down, I should be having more parties or doing more like straight profit making kind of activities. And then I get out of the habit of doing self-development, and I watch I watch things go downhill. Like, I know that the key to being successful and consistent in your business is making sure that that is always your number one priority. And it's easy to say it because I struggle with it too, guys. Like, I wasn't great about personal development this month, and my volumes show it because I was in my own head or whatever, and it happens. But for me, my biggest tip for personal development is getting that Audible app that I like preach to you guys all the time. Kelsey and I both use that. Personally, I'm not somebody that sits down and reads or I fall asleep, and I just generally don't have time where my kid will let me like read an adult book. So after reading like 18 million children's books every day, the only opportunity for me to get personal development in is if I can squeeze it in while I fold laundry or make dinner or curl my hair or apply my makeup or take a shower or whatever. So I do it all on Audible, and then you can maximize those little pockets of time to make sure that you're getting in the right headspace.
Okay. Jesse, could you provide me with, because I know you're actually reading was it the 5 second?
Yeah, I just started rereading that today.
Yes.
I love that.
Because I know the group that I'm in, it's a woman's group, a mom's group, about fitness and health and stuff like that. And she's doing podcasts and whatnot. She posted some podcasts that she's interested in. But I know that our group is also into self-development and stuff like that. To tell you the truth, I have no idea what self-development is because I've never done it. So I need help.
For sure. There's a whole list of
I need help, ladies.
Favorite books. On that Gold Diggers page, we have a whole list of our favorite self-development books. So pick one and just start reading it or listening to it. That's all. That's all it is. It's just developing yourself by pouring into yourself with these books that extremely successful people have written to help others tap into their own potential. So
is there a may I ask, I apologize again for interrupting, is there a specific one for, again, a newbie to start off with?
I'd start with the 5 second rule. I love that one. That one will like get you out of your own head, and then you can kind of see what your style is, and there's lots of different styles of books that we've recommended too.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Jessie. I appreciate that.
One thing that I like too for personal development is an app on my phone. It's called First 5, and it's very quick. It's very easy, so it's on your phone too, and it just talks about each day. It's you just read through it, and it's very emotionally inspiring for me. Some days mean more to me than others. Sprinkle of Jesus is another one that I really like, and they're quick and easy. They're kind of sometimes funny and lighthearted, but they're really good. And I'm like Jessie. A lot of times if I sit down and read something, I go to sleep. So I don't want to be doing that. I totally listen to YouTube things like every single day. I have my computer with me I go to the shower, and I start it before I get in the shower. Then I stop it when I'm in the shower and I come back out. Just on my computer, I watch a YouTube video of somebody talking to me. Okay. That's what I need. Cause otherwise I do fall asleep. I'm older, so that happens.
Yeah.
It's a real life thing. Truly. So
I have a question. Here's where my struggle is. It's like I go into something 150%. So July is just like, I just went nuts. Yes. But I went so nuts with It Works that so many other parts of my career, home, the house, everything, then just kind of got put by the wayside. And so then I felt like in August, there's a lot of family stuff, a lot of personal stuff that came up, which you kind of have to work in between. But then it's like, It Works got put on the shelf, and it's like, I've got to focus. I'm having a really hard time finding the balance because, when we're super excited, we just want to do it all the time, but yet there's other things that need to be addressed. I've got a full-time job that I've got to make sure that I'm doing to my fullest extent. I've got to make sure that the house is being kept up so that there's peace between me and my husband. So I guess that's the thing. It's like finding that balance of doing everything the right amount, if that makes sense.
Well, I can just tell you for me what worked, because I was that person too. I was working full time at my office job when I built a Triple Diamond, and we couldn't use our phones, and I could not use. There was no Facebook on our computers at work, so I could not really truly work. I got up in the morning earlier than I normally do. That's when I started getting up at 4 a.m., which sounds crazy, but I did. I got up at 4 a.m. and I actually stayed up way later at night than I ever did before. And I would stay up till probably between 10 and 11 every night. But I really got into such a good groove with that. And that's really when a lot of people, like, they may not be up in the early morning, but I could send them a message. And then I would get responses that I could chat back with them in the evening. I would take my phone with me into the bathroom, and I could not word vomit. When y'all talk about word vomiting, I couldn't. I didn't have time. I mean, I had the amount of time to tinkle, and that's all I had. And a lot of it was like, I just answered their question. That's it. So I feel like for you, Lynette, what you need is intentional time. This business shouldn't take you very many hours in a day. It really shouldn't. I think you spent amazing amount of time in your first month because you were so excited. Now you just need to dedicate intentional work time to it. So whatever that would be for you, maybe it's just your lunch hour. If you have a job that's 9 to 5 or whatever, maybe it's just from 10 to 11 at night. Maybe it's half an hour in the morning and half an hour at night, but that should be sufficient. But I also challenge you to get at least one wrap party, at least one a week in September, because you're so good at that. And when you get in front of people, that's when you get those distributors and your loyal customers. Everybody is way more successful when you're in front of people, and we get out of that habit. So back to the blitz, wrap, repeat. That's all that is. You're blitzing them just because you've got an audience in front of you. You're hopefully going to wrap them because that's the way for sure to seal a deal. And then you're just going to repeat that over and over again. So it's very simple to duplicate that. So I feel like for you, Lynette, you just need to dedicate specific amounts of time, because I get it. I totally get it, because I knew when I would come home, and I still got my 45-minute a day workout in. I still had to worry about my husband. I still wanted to see my grandchildren. But I feel like I was way more successful maybe when I had limited time, because I used my minutes very efficiently. I didn't have time to diddle daddle. Hannah, did you have a question?
Is I even did the Jesse Leo where I was involved in the I Will Become Ruby in August. And one of my things was, have a customer post, a status, and they will get a free product or a free wrap, actually, if they post this status. And basically, I didn't get anything excluding that potential. So I provided that person who provided me with that potential the free wrap. Well, my thing is when you were stating that, well, I kind of lost my train of thought right there. Is how am I supposed to get those potentials or free? Yes, I mean, I have received a loyal customer today, actually, and it was just off the whim, and it was amazing, and I thank the Lord Jesus for that. But what you were talking about was the loyal customers. My thing is, who can I go towards of getting distributors? That's my thing. Is I have the volume. I have the loyal customers for Ruby. I need my distributors. Jesse, are you seeing something? Are you seeing something in my post that that I need to work on, you or Kelsey, towards my statuses?
For distributors?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's just a process, Hannah. You just have to remember that you are establishing trust with people, and you're letting them watch your journey, and you're letting them see you be consistent, and they're letting them learn about your leadership style, because you'll attract people that are like you. So if you want to attract people that are going to be hardworking or want to be stay-at-home moms or all of that stuff, like that's the kind of stuff that you're portraying on there. I love seeing your pictures with your kids, and seeing you use the products and stuff is great. You really share that stuff genuinely. So it's just really about being consistent and sticking with it and interacting with people on social media. I've shared a lot of new tips about social media because there's been changes on Facebook. So just pour yourself into those, and you'll get lots and lots of ideas of how to improve or take what you're doing to the next level.
Okay.
But don't think that it's ever like, there'll never be a list that we can say, here, do these 5 things and you'll be Ruby. Because it's different for everybody.
I'm not.
Even on social media, I could post something and get a great response, and you might post it and get crickets. It totally depends on what else you're doing on social media or in your life to get the right people to see your stuff.
Yes. I was just saying, maybe am I wording something wrong, or am I presenting something? Because this is just like, I apologize, ladies. This is just out of the whim. But my husband and I, we were both in APAC in telemarketing together. And that's actually how we met. And he was like, sell me to the products. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? You want me to sell my products to you? And he was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And every time I try to sell, no, that's not how you do it. And he actually sold me better than I sold him in less than 2 minutes.
Hey, Hannah, I was just going to say, maybe take the word sell out of your vocabulary, because I always like to say that we market really great products.
Yes.
Don't get caught up in the salesy part of it. Just be genuine and be you, and stay consistent, and learn as you go. And don't be so caught up on like reaching out to people that you have to just like sell them like right away. Start making some relationships with people, and just connecting with new people. That's really, really how it works.
Okay. Thank you, Kelsey.
Okay, I'm going to have to jump off. I've got another thing I'm supposed to do at 9:30, so I'm a couple minutes late. But I wanted to tell you all how thankful I am that you all got on, plugged into this. I know that you're going to just, get back to me. I expect an email or a Facebook message back what you accomplished tomorrow. I know that you all can get 4 little customers. I know it. Make it happen. And Sarah, I'll talk to you. I see there was a question over here, so I will talk to you about that, okay? I'm going to go. Bye, you guys.
Thanks, Deb.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, Kelsey. This was really awesome. That was so cool to hear from Aspen and get to pick Deb's brain.
For sure.
Thank you, Jessie. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
I'm glad you guys can hop on. And let's go end the month.
Are we still seeing each other Friday?
We'll see you later, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.